Hello there, and welcome to AMUS. This week we will be examining someone else's AMUS. So, hello Wedge.
I don't want you to examine my AMUS in particular. Probably some kind of professional, but not you.
I mean, it depends. Do you think a professional would find anything wrong with your AMUS?
Well, you see, I've heard those horror stories where people say that they're professionals and then examine the AMUS, and then it turns out that they're actually very, very bad people, and, you know, you've got to live with that kind of thing for the rest of your life, so I want to be sure that anyone examining my AMUS is a qualified professional with no ulterior motives.
I believe you're shit out of luck.
Well, let's get this out the way with then.
Something along those lines. So, as with the previous AMUS's... AMUS High? What is the plural for AMUS? As with the previous videos, we will be going through a number of questions. We have asked Wedge's community to contribute questions to this one. And, well, Wedge hasn't seen them.
No, but I do know my community can be quite toxic at times, so I'm not expecting anything good.
Yeah, that's wise. Oh, first of all, Wedge, how are you feeling?
Mildly frustrated, but that's because I had to stop watching an episode of iZombie to do this, so the sooner the better.
I stopped watching an episode of Log Horizon, so, you know, bite me.
Well, you're the one who put me up to this.
Yeah, I did. I don't regret anything there. So, the first question from Syconaut.
The Irish dude.
Yeah, from Syconaut. What the fuck is a Wedgehog?
A Wedgehog is some form of natural No, it's nothing like that. It's actually a really crappy robot that fought in the first series of Robot Wars. It was a wedge, and it was armed with a toothpick. And the engineers that built it thought, hedgehog, Wedgehog, that's clever, isn't it? So we'll call our robot that. And me, being the uncreative arsehole that I am, kind of stole the name, and here we are.
Did you say it was armed with a toothpick? I know that, like, the early series of Robots Wars, they weren't very threatening, but a toothpick?
I say it's a toothpick. It's essentially this tiny little axe, which may as well have been a toothpick, because it didn't come down with any force, and it looked like a toothpick. So, yes, that is what a Wedgehog is.
Fair enough.
That was when Jeremy Clarkson hosted it, and he wore that terrible, terrible leather jacket.
I remember the leather jacket. It was awesome.
And his pubic head hair.
I mean, he's always had that.
Well, true, but it was, you know, it was like a pubic perm back then.
Pubic perm. That's the name of this video. That's what the title's going to be now. Wedgehog and his pubic perm.
Ladies.
Lawlfakers asks, is there a drink in particular, alcoholic or otherwise, you really like?
Well, if it's going to be non-alcoholic, then let's just say I quite like a Pepsi, so fuck all of the people that like Coca-Cola. And if it's alcoholic, I usually tend to go for a Guinness because I'm an old Irish man.
Fair enough.
Psycho might like me even more now.
Or possibly less. I mean, chances are that it'd probably turn out that Guinness is like this thing that hipsters don't drink, and as we know, Syconaut is a musician and therefore a hipster.
I did not know he was a hipster. I will remember that, and I will use it against him in the future.
Oh yeah, socks and sandals and everything.
Moving on.
Moving on indeed. Ultimate...
That guy. I know who you're talking about, that guy.
That guy asks, does Wedgebot creep you out?
I did create him a while back in that foul laboratory. And the way he looks at me with those dead mechanical eyes, they do kind of creep me out occasionally. But then, you know, that's meant to be the point. I want to creep as much of my audience out as possible with Wedgebot, so if he does creep you out, then he's doing his job right.
Fair enough. DF44 asks, most and least depressing train ride, and did any of them have steering wheels?
Most depressing train ride was the train ride from Manchester Airport a couple of weeks back, which after, 18 hours on a plane, we get on board this crappy Northern Rail train that smells like raw arse, doesn't have enough seats, doesn't have proper space for luggage, bear in mind this is the bloody airport train, and is full of ugly people from the north. So that was very depressing. Least depressing train ride was when I was sitting at Shinosaki Station and the Evangelion Shinkansen pulls in and literally everyone in the train station runs to the platform to film it on the phones. So that was least depressing, and it also had a little diorama up front with a fancy cockpit and everything. It was awesome. I'll probably do a video about that. Channel plug!
A Mad Turtle asks, do you love me?
Who's a mad turtle again?
I'm fairly sure he's one of your newer subscribers.
Is he?
Hint, you should answer yes.
Okay then, because Swallow told me, I will answer yes.
There you are, Mad Turtle. He loves you. The wedding will take place in June.
Hey, I didn't sign up for that.
Too late.
God damn it. Well, at least I've got a year to fake my own death or something.
I've seen the way you work on projects. It's going to take you more than a year to figure that out.
That's true, but once I do work it out, it will be incredibly elaborate. It'll only work once, and then it will implode on itself.
You mean you're going to build a Rube Gold machine inside Space Engineers? Hey, you could get killed by Clang. That would be a first. Well, it wouldn't be a first, but like it would be unique. Well, it wouldn't be unique either. It'll be interesting. Probably.
Your train of thought derailed horribly then, didn't it?
Well, yeah, but at least it's not the most depressing train of thought I've ever had.
That's true. That'd be a Northern Rail train of thought.
It isn't. Then it's a replacement bus service of depressing thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bear Zypher, who I believe is...
Oh, Bear Zypher, he's insane. This is going to be a good question.
Yeah, you say that. What is the average airspeed of an unladen swallow?
Is it like some form of North African swallow or South African swallow, and is it carrying a coconut?
You see, you don't get to ask questions back. Oh, camera's gone.
Don't I?
Camera's gone.
Oh, that sucks.
Clang!
Are we back?
We're back.
Okay. I blame Apple for that. That was their fault.
Yeah, sure it was. Sure it was.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not very good at aerodynamics. I never play Kerbal Space Program because I'm terrible at aerodynamics. That's why I play Space Engineers, because there's very little aerodynamics. But I don't know. Let's just say 358 feet per second and leave it at that. But that is after some crazy redneck Englishman has shot it and it's plummeting to its death.
Oh yes, two more. Two more. Hang in there.
Okay.
Lawlfakers asks, having been to Japan and enjoyed the culture and cuisine, what were your favourite sweets and snacks?
My favourite sweets and snacks.
Caution!
Well,
if you answer this incorrectly, you will appear to be a weeb.
That's true. Well, obviously, if I'm going to be a weeb, I'm going to say Pocky, but I didn't really like Pocky that much. I don't know. The interesting things in Japan are the weird Kit Kats. They've got the ones that sort of taste like, what is it? A cheesecake. They have cheesecake Kit Kats in Japan that you've got to stick in a grill for a bit, and you melt them down, and they're quite good. Actual meals that they have this stuff in Hiroshima called okonomiyaki, which is like noodles and then a bit of like, it's almost like noodles and a crepe, but then there's a load of cabbage that goes on it and bean sprouts, and then you get a load of seafood like oysters and a bit of squid, some prawns, and then there's this weird sort of sauce, I can't describe it, how it tastes anyway, that goes on top, and it's incredible. And if you can eat that with chopsticks, you're a badass. What was the question again?
Having been to Japan and enjoyed the culture and cuisine, what were your favourite sweets and or snacks? Not full food, I don't think, but I'm sure he'll appreciate the answer regardless.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just go to a vending machine, anything they have in there will be fine.
You can't eat everything from a vending machine in Japan.
Well, you know, if you eye up one vending machine and you go there 2 or 3 times a day with 100 yen, then you should be able to work through it in about a week.
No, what I mean is, like, not everything in a vending machine in Japan is edible, depending on your perspective.
Well, it depends what vending machine you go to. I mean, there are those ones that sell, shall we say, slightly more questionable items, but you're only likely to run into those if you're in the middle of nowhere and it's some seedy-looking shack with them all in it. I will not tell you how I know this, but I do know that.
Go on, you go to Japan, you have lots of time on your hands, you go looking for the panty machines.
No comments.
No comment indeed. MWorx asks, will you partake in Wasted Space's new top secret movie?
It's so top secret I've never heard of it. Sorry.
Fair enough. Well, okay then. And that is all we have time for, I believe.
Wonderful, I can get back to watching my crappy Netflix shows. See you later.
Anyway, thank you, Wedgehog, for joining me today to discuss... I'm not entirely sure what we discussed, and I'm not entirely sure what we gained from this, but we did a thing.
I would say it was fun, but it wasn't.
It really wasn't fun.
No.
All this setup and just tedium. I have to stare at your ugly fucking face on my second monitor for 20 minutes and just...
And the worst thing is, my face is going to be there with Jeremy Clarkson's, pubic afro or something like that, so I'm not going to be happy either.
I mean, to be honest, I could probably try doing that, but my Photoshop skills are not that good, I'm afraid. Like, I could probably ask one of your community might decide to do it, so...
Don't try it.
Please post in the comments any Photoshop images or,
No.
Wedge plus Jeremy Clarkson's pubic hair.
Don't you dare.
That is today's episode, so thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and hopefully we will be doing more together.
Must we? Must we do more together? This was an ordeal.
Yeah, this is a pain in the ass. Let's just end it here. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Besides, your viewers are the fucking weird ones.
That's true. Seeing as this is the internet, I know there's somewhere out there jacking off. Try and not get it in my eyes, okay?
I'm making no promises.
You'll definitely put that in, that's the thing, so I can't do that.
That'll be the fucking thumbnail.